Coming to the Lancaster City Council meeting.
Microphone. Councilmember, Authority Member Johnson. Present. Mann. Smith.
Here.
Vice Mayor, Vice Chair Christ.
Present.
Mayor, Chair Paris.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Move to excuse Mann.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Call to order the Housing Authority meeting. City Clerk, roll call, please.
Authority Member Harvey. Mann. Smith.
Here.
Vice Chair Christ.
Present.
Chair Zetto.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Move to excuse Mann.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
That passes.
Okay, the invocation will be from Spiritual Assembly of, is it Baha'i? Is that how you say it? Baha'i? Of Lancaster, Sandra Haringer. Okay, good. Thank you.
This is a prayer for unity revealed to the world by Abdul-Baha, son of Baha'u'llah, the manifestation of the Baha'i faith. It appears on page 41 of the Interfaith Prayer Book previously presented to the City Council. O thou provider, the dearest wish of this servant of thy threshold is to behold the friends of East and West in close embrace, to see all the members of human society gathered with love in a single great assemblage, even as individual drops of water collected in one mighty sea, to behold them all as birds in one garden of roses, as pearls of one ocean, as leaves of one tree, as rays of one sun. Thou art the mighty, the powerful, and thou art the God of strength, the omnipotent, the all-seeing. Abdul-Baha.
Thank you. Want to do the next one?
Sure. Please remain standing. Repeat with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, is Leah, how do you say your last name? Yeah, that way. The L is you pronounce. Bayulai. Okay. This is Leah Bayulai, who is absolutely amazing. She's at SOAR High School. I'm not interrupting, am I? Okay. Sorry, we're working with them now, okay? Not only is she at SOAR High School, which in itself is a huge accomplishment, because you don't get to stay there very long unless you accomplish things. Isn't that right? She's the 2013 Antelope Valley Press Future Leader winner, academic excellence in chemistry, perfect attendance, and what does perfect attendance give you? A 4.0 GPA. She's a site level winner for Avid Write-Off. What's that?
It's where you write an essay in Avid, which is a college preparatory class.
Wow, I'd like to read that. She's a Girl Scouts Silver Award Leadership. She has a Girl Scouts Gold Award Leadership, second place finalist and winner at Law Day. I wasn't there, I'm sorry. I could have skewed that a little bit. Best Group Project, UC Davis Cosmos 2013. She's in the Speech Club, the Key Club, the Academic Enrichment Tutoring Program, Girl Scouts, God's New Generation Dance Group. What? I thought you were a Baptist. You can't dance. Okay. Me and the bishop will have a discussion. The Millionaires Club, the Antelope Valley College Honors Program, and the Math and Science Summer Program. Leah has had some struggles throughout her life. She has been able to overcome, adapt to the circumstances in life. They have made her determined to pursue her passion to become a marine biologist while attending a top-tier school such as Harvard or UC Berkeley. Wow, that is remarkable. So you give that to your mother, okay?
Thank you.
Is your mother here? Well, you've got to come down here. We know she didn't do it all by herself. Is this your sister? I have it. Howard. Congratulations. Bishop, I didn't say you. Oh, you're the great. Okay, you get the bishop. Even if you are, these kids are straight ideas. I got some things for you. No, I don't have the almonds for you. Okay, so we have the go-kart races. I'm out of town, so this is your VIP pass. You get to go all backstage, you get the run of the place, you know, and they slam sweet, you know, not really. But all right.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
We're proud of you. Thank you. So, Bishop, is that really your granddaughter? Really? Wow. You've done good. That is truly remarkable. Yeah. I mean, it you know, you can compete in a lot of places, but she's competing at the Olympics. I mean, that is one of the best schools in the country. And for her to rise that way is just remarkable. Good. Good. And I danced too. I was just giving him a hard time. Okay. Okay. We have a presentation on the city's recycling center, and that would be Alan Thompson that's doing that, right? I was wondering what the suit was doing over there.
So, Mayor Paris and City Council members, a question: is it possible for a city department to create a program largely to make their job easier, only for that program to later win a state award? So in the next few minutes, I'd like to share with you a remarkable experience that we're having at the Public Works Yard. It started about two years ago, where Utility Services Division sent a couple of our employees for training for hazardous materials. And almost immediately, we began receiving requests for them to pick up used oil that had been illegally dumped in alleyways, on the side of the road, or in the desert. And the calls came not only from citizens or from city workers, but from other departments like the Sheriff's Department, the Health Department, even the Fire Department. You see, used oil is considered a hazardous waste in California. So now there's never an excuse for somebody to illegally dump used oil, and that's for sure. But it was happening so frequently that we had to ask ourselves, is there some reason that these people feel that this is the thing that they needed to do? So there are places that you can take your used oil, but they're limited. There are limited times that you could take it there, or limited amounts that you could take it. So we theorized that maybe these people just needed a place that they could conveniently take their oil that would be open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so there's never an excuse. We wanted to make it possible for anyone, anytime, to do the right thing and to take their oil and dispose of it properly. So at that same time, a separate issue that we were having at the yard was our e-waste collection. We had been collecting e-waste for years, but it was never really a well-orchestrated program. Few people knew about it, so the e-waste would sit around for months until the pile grew large enough that we could have it hauled away. And frankly, it was really an eyesore. And to solve both these dilemmas, we decided to build a recycle center at our maintenance yard that would have a convenient drive-through with bins and tanks where people could put their stuff and keep it neat. And we had a lot of the materials already on hand. Parks donated a large tank that we could use for oil. We got a grant to pay for the things that we had to buy, and we used our own staff to construct it. And I have to admit, my early expectations were kind of minimal. I thought as long as it didn't cost us much money and it solved some of our problems, that it would be a success. But some other of my co-workers had much more ambitious vision. Justin Lewis, for example, created this multifaceted marketing strategy that helped to bring this obscure center into the buzz of the California recycling world. As you know, we hold quarterly events. Those have been reported at previous council meetings. We assist charities in fundraising, and we sponsor booths at events like the Poppy Festival or Streets of Lancaster, where citizens can sign a pledge that they promise never to illegally dump used oil or e-waste. And when they do that, they can earn some pretty neat swag. Stuff like this used oil kit. Last year, we collected 13,000 gallons of oil, 390,000 pounds of e-waste. And let me use this opportunity to remind everybody that e-waste, it's not just TVs and computers, it's every kind of electronics, anything with a cord. It can be old lamps, it can be toasters, it can be your kids' battery-operated toys. Anything that's broken or old that you don't use anymore, that's obsolete, you can bring to us. I brought in my old hairdryer. I don't use that anymore. Now, we've gotten some pretty unusual stuff lately. We got an ultrasound machine one time. We got a Geiger counter. We've gotten some really neat 8-track tape players lately. And we even got some Boston tape that came in it. If anybody needs this for their collection, you can see me after. And it's been successful. This year so far, we've had a 40% increase in our numbers. A couple of weeks ago, we got called to pick up some used oil that was illegally dumped, and we couldn't even remember the last time we had to do that. Some of our coworkers have really stepped up. Donald Watson, for example, has turned this center into a highly efficient operation. Parks has lent us some temporary workers. We even have a volunteer intern now helping us out. We've expanded our services. We now take antifreeze, we take cooking oil, batteries. We're going to be taking paint soon. We just got notice that we earned a grant to start a household hazardous waste component of our center. Now, a lot of other cities allow their citizens to bring things to their city and drop off just like this. But what makes Lancaster's center unique is, for one, we allow anybody to come. We don't care where you live. You can bring your stuff there. And it's open 24 hours a day. That's what's really unique. And obviously, it's a risk to allow people to drop things off in the middle of the night when nobody's there. And of course, we receive the occasional thing that probably shouldn't have been brought there. We get some used mattresses every once in a while, which we're also looking for a grant to recycle. But our philosophy is that it's better if somebody's going to dump something, that they dump it at our yard where we can easily take care of it, rather than in some alley somewhere. Now, this center has caught the attention of Cal Recycle. Justin has been asked to speak at several recycling events around the state, and we recently won an award for the most outstanding e-waste program of the year. So you might say, that's really nice, they won an award, look at that. But if you knew what was going on behind the scenes, I think you might be really impressed. You see, in California, or probably nationwide, there's a movement in the environmental culture that wants the focus to not so much be on recycling, but on reducing. And they would prefer that people, the consumer, maybe feels a little guilty when they generate some waste, and that the manufacturer be responsible for taking back that waste that their products generate. And so a program that makes it easy for somebody to dispose of their waste, it's kind of frowned on by some people. And even the people that gave us this award admitted to us that at first they struggled with promoting it, that they kind of went against some of their core beliefs. But eventually they had to confess that it was just too popular to ignore. So in Public Works, we're just engineers. We're not advocates. So we can't wait around for some progressive culture shift to happen. We're paid to fix problems now. And so that's what we try to do. And of course, it's wonderful to get an award for something like this, but that's not the reason these things start. We've been asked by Mark to come up with new ways to provide new services in our limited budget. And our Director Robert, he's always encouraging us to step outside of the box, to try something new, to do more with less. And so we're seeing that it's not often that a government agency creates a program to make its job easier that ends up being a widely accepted public benefit. But when that happens, it's really a nice thing. So thank you.
That is exceptionally cool. Thank you. That's great. Okay. Heather Swan and Andrew, what's your last name? Noga. Okay. And Jocelyn Swain. They're going to present the Net Zero Solar Energy Program.
Good evening, Mayor Paris and Council. We come before you to present a plan on how the City of Lancaster's program to become the first net zero city in America and the alternative energy capital world can become reality. Although there are multiple definitions for net zero energy, the city's definition is to procure and produce more Sorry about that. To procure and produce more electricity within the city limits via renewable sources than is consumed within city limits. This is broken down into two phases. Phase 1 of 215 megawatts, which is peak load, and Phase 2 of 530 megawatts, which is total consumption. Peak load is the energy used at any one instance, measured by SCE and 15-minute windows throughout our community. The city is currently producing 40 megawatts of solar energy from a variety of sources. Most notably, almost 1,200 single-family residential solar permits have been issued. With our current existing projects, and if all approved projects move forward as expected, the city will have exceeded its Phase 1 goal. We expect this to happen in 2015, provided all stays on schedule. To achieve our net zero energy goal, we must reach 530 megawatts of installed operational renewable energy. As you can see from our chart, we currently have 40 megawatts constructed and operational, 200 megawatts approved and or under construction, 33 megawatts under review. With our 40 megawatts that are currently operational, we're offsetting 9.1 tons of greenhouse gases. Solar is not only an unlimited resource, but also does not contribute to air pollution, unlike when fossil fuels are burned and the emissions are released into the air. A net zero city helps keep Lancaster positively clear.
Thank you.
As you can see, we've made tremendous progress towards our net zero energy goal. However, we've only gotten this far thanks to the partnerships and relationships that we've developed with those developers. These developers have been integral to our education regarding the industry and our plan for growth. We will only be able to achieve our net zero energy goal by maintaining those partnerships. At total build-out, they represent $1.3 billion of investment in our local economy. And on average, these developments produce about 5 construction jobs per megawatt installed, which would equate to over 2,600 jobs at total build-out. And in addition, there are millions of dollars being invested in infrastructure locally. From a staff perspective, these partnerships are invaluable. We can reach out to our partners at any time with questions, guidance, and asks for assistance. Taking the solar world by the reins, the City of Lancaster has entered into numerous forward-thinking partnerships with leaders in the alternative energy realm. Beginning in August 2009, when eSolar held the grand opening of the nation's only operating solar thermal power tower plant in the U.S. The movement continued in early 2010 when Mayor Paris attended a meeting with China-based technology and manufacturing company BYD, one of the world's largest suppliers of advanced battery technology. Soon after his return, the city facilitated a partnership with KB Home and BYD to create an affordable solar energy housing community. This project came to fruition in mid-2010 with the unveiling of a prototypical, modestly priced, energy-efficient home designed to generate more power than it used. In accordance with the city's new found direction, zoning codes were modified to allow construction for utility-scale solar, and in June 2010, Tuso Energy became the first utility-scale solar project approved within city limits. This project is now operational and supplying 20 megawatts of electricity to the grid. The average time to obtain entitlements for a solar project range anywhere from 15 minutes for an over-the-counter approval for a rooftop installation and 3 months for utility-scale farms. In July 2010, the solar journey continued when the City of Lancaster, in partnership with Solar City, launched the Solar Lancaster program, an affordable solar program for homeowners, business owners, and nonprofit organizations. In addition, 5 city facilities, the Lancaster Municipal Stadium, City Hall, Performing Arts Center, City Park, and Maintenance Yard, all received solar installations totaling 1.4 megawatts, which is projected to save the city an estimated $6 million. Building on the city's success to date in the renewable energy industry, the City Council authorized formation of the Lancaster Power Authority in March 2011. This Joint Powers Authority was established to manage the city's efforts in renewable energy and pursue a variety of opportunities. Combining the LPA's innovative finance model and the experience of trusted industry leaders, the LPA effectively partnered with Lancaster and East Side school districts, installing solar shade structures at 25 individual school sites, which have netted the school districts a real savings of approximately $375,000 in the first year. To complement and encourage local solar and renewable energy development in the Antelope Valley and surrounding areas, the City Council approved the formation of the High Desert Power Authority, a joint powers authority between the LPA and Pittsburgh Power Company. The HDPA's primary purpose is to engage in the planning and development of transmission lines in order to provide much-needed capacity for renewable energy in the area. In partnership with SOMAS FMG, Morgan Solar, and U.S. Topco, the LPA entered into land lease agreements for the construction of solar plants on city-owned land. This partnership generates revenue for the city while making the most of previously unutilized land. And in August 2012, the City Council, in partnership with the City of San Jacinto, approved the formation of the California Clean Energy Authority. The CCEA is granted jurisdictional authority to partner with member municipalities and counties throughout the state, which allows the LPA to apply its successful track record to the benefit of participating members. These programs will assist in the development of cost-saving solar projects throughout the state of California. In early 2013, LPA staff began the process with Southern California Edison to acquire the city's 18,000 streetlights. This disposition of assets from Edison will require navigating the California Public Utilities Commission's lengthy process, but is anticipated to save the city hundreds of thousands of dollars each year on street lighting costs. In addition, staff has been evaluating the opportunity of a waste conversion facility within city limits and the formulation of the Net Zero Energy Plan, which is intended to drive staff in a direction that will meet the city's economic needs and fulfill the vision of the council by becoming the country's first net zero energy city and alternative energy capital of the world. Staff has identified 3 necessary areas for net zero energy success: community outreach, economic vitality, and infrastructure. The support of the community will be vital to the success of our programs. Our community outreach will be designed to interact with the public regarding the vision of the council, sharing with the public why we're doing what we're doing and how it will best benefit them. We foresee this relating to them in terms of jobs and potentially reduced energy rates. This can be accomplished through community meetings, branding campaigns, and other previously established channels of communication, such as the city's e-news, website, and Outlook publication. Not only has the increased development of the renewable energy industry benefited our community through additional jobs and training, it has also served as an attractive incentive for business relocation. We have already attracted a number of developers to the area, along with manufacturers that share a link to the renewable energy industry. This clustering effect is what will make Lancaster the alternative energy capital of the world. The goal to become America's first net zero energy city is ambitious, but entirely possible with the proper foundation. Part of that foundation is the infrastructure in which the city's municipal utility operates. This infrastructure will be the backbone to the city's ability to serve its residents. Not only does infrastructure encompass the traditional physical assets, such as streetlights and generation tie lines, but also the procurement and delivery of power. To our residents, the availability of power will be of utmost importance. However, the pursuit of infrastructure must include a thoughtful and well-planned approach in order to be successful.
Most of the utility-scale development in Lancaster and the Antelope Valley is occurring on the west side, as seen in the map. This is due in large part to available land and access to existing transmission lines and substations. This solar development on the west side is making it possible for the city to achieve its Phase 1 net zero energy goals. Approximately 213 megawatts, or slightly more than 2 square miles of solar panels, have been approved within the city limits. Smart solar growth is necessary in order to meet the needs of our community. Smart solar growth maximizes solar opportunities and development while minimizing potential environmental issues, including wind-blown dust and aesthetic impacts. While solar developers are drawn to the west side due to existing transmission lines and substations, access into these substations is limited, and the requirements of the city and county vary substantially. The City of Lancaster and Kern County do not require the undergrounding of utility lines, while the County of Los Angeles does. City staff has worked with the solar community to create a proposed system of generation tie lines to facilitate a logical and cost-effective network of overhead lines. Solar developers would be required to use these corridors to run overhead lines. Lines proposed outside of the corridors would be required to be placed underground. This network would limit the visual effects of utility lines all over the West Valley, provide for the organized use of the city's right-of-way, and facilitate cost-effective solar development, which is necessary as the city aims to achieve our Phase 2 net zero energy goal. Forthcoming from this plan would be policies establishing appropriate monetary compensation for the use of the city's right-of-way based on the type of transmission facility installed. The above photographs provide examples of transmission poles that are likely to be placed in the city's right-of-way in the overhead utility corridors. As can be seen from the above aerial, while some properties are developed with residential uses, the west side of the Antelope Valley is predominantly undeveloped. As can be seen from the map, the west side of the Antelope Valley is made up of many city and county islands. This makes it difficult to implement a comprehensive and cost-effective generation-tied backbone system as the lines continually shift jurisdictions and requirements. This patchwork of land use jurisdictions also makes it difficult for solar developers to put together large enough pieces of property to build a utility-scale solar farm. In order for the city to achieve its net zero energy goals, a comprehensive, multi-jurisdictional approach for the approval and construction of utility-scale solar projects needs to be developed. This comprehensive approach could take on many forms, including a joint powers authority, memorandum of understanding, or annexation and de-annexation. One example would be to square off the city's boundary by annexing the county islands bounded by Avenue G, Avenue L, 70th Street West, and 115th Street West, as shown in blue, and de-annexing the area north of Avenue G, as shown in green. This approach, along with the associated programmatic EIR, would facilitate future solar development while minimizing legal exposures and delays, establish all requirements for solar in advance to assist developers in planning projects, provide opportunities for the public to be involved in the development of solar standards and requirements, provide better control of dust-related issues, be consistent with the state's Desert Renewable Energy Conservation Plan goals and objectives for the Western Mojave, including preserving the land in the county's significant ecological areas, create jobs and revenue, and provide a buffer between solar developments and neighboring rural communities. Regardless of the approach selected, a programmatic EIR is necessary to facilitate the development of solar energy projects. Without a comprehensive approach to solar development, it will not be possible for the city to build the remaining 257 megawatts of alternative energy that is needed to meet the Phase 2 net zero energy goal.
As we work to become a net zero energy city, there are many opportunities that lie ahead, such as possible future partnerships with LADWP and expanded growth as developers continue to look for more land within city limits. Staff believes that the net zero energy plan integrates seamlessly with the city's and the council's larger goals. We thank you for your time, and we would be happy to answer any questions you may have.
You know, Heather, I go all over the country talking about solar and meeting with people who are far more knowledgeable about it than I am. And every place we go, they talk about what you're doing here. And you really are the team leader on this. And you're the most unheralded team leader we have. I mean, what she has accomplished is, and your team, is world-changing. I mean, it is becoming the model of the world of how to do this. And I can't thank you enough. I mean, you were given an impossible task. And we looked up one day and we're well on the way to accomplishing it. It's truly phenomenal. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Any questions? Good. Thank you. Any council minute speaker cards?
Yeah.
On the minutes?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to ask if there's anything.
Any items to be removed?
Oh, I skipped one. I think by this time, after 5 years, I know how to do this. Anything be removed? No, sir. Do we have something here?
That's on the
Okay.
consent calendar.
Okay, good. Minutes? Is there a motion?
Move to approve M1.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Consent calendar.
We have a speaker card on CC4.
So let's take CC4 off.
Move to approve the consent calendar as currently comprised.
Is there a second?
I second.
Let's vote. It's unanimous. Okay, CC4, Michael Reeves.
Hi, good evening. Council, staff, ladies and gentlemen. I am opposing CC4 Ordinance 992 like I have every other solar project you have brought forth before the council. I have said many times before, I don't think the city should be involved in the energy business, as well as Palmdale. This week I received my electric bill from Edison. And I believe this is the smoking gun to stop solar projects in this city and the power plant. And everybody gets their Edison bill this month. I'm sure this is going to be in there. It says, understanding EMF, electric and magnetic fields. Can EMF harm your health? And Edison goes into a big discussion about does it harm your health or not. And of course, you can't expect them to be unbiased. And they're ambiguous about whether it harms people's health. And so they recommend some things that we might take to heart. Policymakers and community planners should implement very low-cost measures to reduce exposure when constructing new facilities and designing new equipment. Policymakers should establish guidelines for electric and magnetic fields. Government and industry should promote research to reduce the uncertainty in scientific evidence of the health effects of electric and magnetic fields. And they quote the World Health Organization and says the report emphasized, given the weakness of the evidence, the health benefits of exposure reduction are unclear, and adopted policies based on arbitrary low exposure limits is not warranted. So before we proceed with any more solar projects, let's make sure we're not making another Chernobyl. Because who wants to live in a community when you're exposed to electric and magnetic fields? And I'll be discussing this on other issues before you tonight. But I think you should postpone any further approval, any other solar projects until this is cleared up, whether we're all going to be killed off by electric and magnetic fields. Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion to approve CC4.
I second.
All in favor? It's unanimous. Okay, let's open the public hearing on PH1. Staff report from Brian Ludicky.
I saw it coming.
Mayor Paris, members of the City Council, the item that is before you tonight involves 120 acres that is generally located at the southeast corner of Avenue J and 110th Street West. It is a request to amend the general plan designation from specific plan with an underlying urban residential designation to non-urban, and to rezone the site from specific plan to rural residential 2.5. The purpose of the change is to allow for the construction of an overall solar PV facility. This particular project site is the subject also of a conditional use permit that was approved by the Planning Commission on July 15th. At that same meeting, the Planning Commission voted to recommend to you approval of both the general plan amendment and the zone change at this location. Should you approve tonight the general plan amendment and introduce the zone change, that will put into motion the changes that are necessary to actually allow that conditional use permit to become valid. Staff does support the change. We feel that it is not only compatible in terms of the long-term land use pattern in the area, but it also is very consistent with the city's goal of becoming a net zero city based on the presentation that you just saw. Representatives of the applicant are present if you would like to ask them any questions. Jim Vos, the chairman of the Planning Commission, is also present if you have any questions about their deliberations on this item.
Thank you. Any questions? Mr. Reeves.
Mayor Paris, council, staff, ladies and gentlemen. I was looking at the attachment on PH1, and it has a table in there. It says cumulative projects list about other solar projects that are approved or undergoing review in the city of Lancaster. According to the attachment to the agenda, 1 has been built, 1 is under construction, 6 are approved, and 9 are under review. And all of these are like within 5 miles of this project you want to approve tonight. I was looking at the environmental report on this project. It has some interesting things to say. You have, on one side, it doesn't have any environmental impact, and then at one other side you have it has an environmental impact, and then you have a notch over that it has environmental impact with mitigation, and that's where this one stands. It says that have a less than significant impact with mitigation. It affects the habitats, it degrades the quality of the environment, and it erodes the topsoil of this area. This is the project that you're going to vote on. It does this. Number 10 of the attachment says potential impacts with respect to biological resources, geology, and noise would be created as a result of construction activities. Mitigation measures are required which would reduce impacts to a loss in a significant level. Well, that's really great to hear about, to a significant level. I hope I don't live out that way. Also, in the staff report, it says the power is going to be sold to Edison, so there's no guarantee that my electric rates are going to go down after you approve this. So this is another solar project that I think should be postponed until we find out about the electric and magnetic fields. Thank you.
Thank you. Garrett Bean.
Good evening, Mayor Paris, fellow council members. I'm from Silverado Power. We're developing this project out here, and I thought it would be a good time to kind of let you know where we are at with some of our projects. We really appreciate the support from the planning staff and the forward thinking of the council to really get these projects moving. As the team illustrated earlier, there's these islands out here that we're facing every day, and to kind of shed some light on why your team is so good, it's important to look at the timing, how your team is helping us get to the point of bringing these projects online and getting jobs done. We have projects in LA County there that we have been trying to permit for over 2 years. We're expecting probably another year to bring those projects online. Right now, we have approximately 50 megawatts that are going to be coming online in early 2014. We're going to probably start construction in late 2013 in the December timeframe and bring those projects online. We expect another 30 to 40 megawatts by the end of 2014, so a total of around maybe 80 to 100 megawatts next year. The important thing about this is not just getting to net zero, but it's about jobs. And several months ago when we came to your council asking for approval on another project, Council Member Johnson asked me, are you going to be hiring from the city of Lancaster? So in 2 days, we are going to the job fair in the city of Lancaster to collect applications for the start of construction on these jobs in 2013. So just wanted to give you that update. We're doing our part to help you guys get there, help over 3,000 unemployed. I don't know if we're going to get all those people hired, but start the dialogue with them and try and get some good people out there to start our projects, bring them online, and help you achieve your goals.
How many are you anticipating?
For the 50 megawatts, we're expecting that to range, to take about 8 months or so. And as Jocelyn stated earlier, it's about 5 person per megawatt. So if we accelerate some of that, we may be up in the 100 to 120 range. So
It's wonderful.
That's great. All because you asked the question.
I think we would have done it anyways, but
You should have left it alone. You were doing so well.
well, it's important to be a part of the community, and we feel that we're becoming that. So, thank you.
So are you going to give them tinfoil hats for the math waves?
It's not really. We don't expect to be providing any tinfoil hats.
Thank you. Just thought I'd ask.
Any questions? Thank you.
Oh, thanks for coming here to Lancaster.
Okay, that's it. Can we do these jointly? Allison?
Were you texting?
Preparing for her next presentation.
Indeed.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 13-53 and introduce ordinance number 993.
I second.
It's unanimous. Okay. J&B 1, City Manager.
Vern Lawson and I are going to tag team this one, but I do want to start by saying you've heard a couple of presentations from staff today, which are really wonderful, but what that is indicative of is the quality of people we have here. The things that are supposed to go well happen well, and it allows us in the city manager's office, department heads, whatever, to put our attention towards things that are, sometimes need that attention. One of those is working on BYD, which was a difficult deal to do, and I give the mayor the credit for leading us through that when there were times I wasn't sure it was going to happen. But it happened because of partnerships and good people, and it happens because we can then go out, when things are being taken care of, we can go out and continue on to push the envelope a little bit on that. What BYD is about is not just buses, and it's not just jobs for the Antelope Valley. This is the ground floor of 2 new industries. The first is electric buses. Electric buses are the wave of the future. I know that Councilwoman Johnson and Vice Mayor Christ had the opportunity to hear a presentation from BYD today at AVTA. That is where the future is going. And we have in Lancaster, through BYD, the best electric buses in the world are going to be built here. And I say that because it's not just us saying that. They won a national competition. Long Beach Transit picked by BYD to provide electric buses. The Los Angeles County Metropolitan Transportation Authority, I believe the second biggest transportation authority in the United States, did an exhaustive analysis and picked BYD. Once that happens, these smaller agencies that don't have the staff to do that can piggyback off of those contracts. The second thing is BYD is a recognized world leader in battery technology and batteries. They're opening here a battery manufacturing plant. I know the mayor doesn't like the term battery. I just haven't got comfortable yet going away from that term.
There are energy terminals.
They will be opening a world-class energy terminal manufacturing facility in the city of Lancaster. But it's not just what you see in your cell phones. The future of renewable energy is in industry level and utility scale energy storage systems. That's the holy grail that will allow us to equalize when renewable energy is generated and when it's not. That also is happening in Lancaster. So while we are exceptionally proud of the jobs and exceptionally proud of the relationship with BYD, which has been wonderful
what we hope to look back on is this is the birth of two new industries, and they were born in the city of Lancaster. We're very excited about it. To tell you a little bit about the deal points is Vern Lawson, who was instrumental in this deal, obviously. And then we also have Bill Rex from BYD and Brandon Riley from BYD here. I'd like to introduce Vern.
Well, thank you. I'm proud of this deal for a couple of reasons. One of the first is the fact that, as this indicates, the BYD coach and bus manufacturing facility for a long time was a place in Lancaster where we built Class A motorhomes. And this deal, not only, as Mark indicated, is bringing new technology, but we're also resurrecting the motorhome situation. Many of the workers that originally were employed here will more than likely be employed to build the buses. But Rexall Motorhomes isn't going away. They have a facility over on 23rd Street, and I think they're going to downsize maybe a little bit the Class A motorhomes. So it's kind of a win-win in that we do get the new technology, we do get the new company, but we also get to resurrect a firm that the recession had a serious impact on. The second thing that I'm very proud of is the fact that I don't think I've ever worked on a deal that had more participation by everybody in the city. The BYD press conference that was held was truly amazing when you think of the street crews out early in the morning repaving streets and changing name signs, park crews out fixing up landscaping, and I think Mark's done a really good job in making everybody in this city staff recognize that economic development isn't just for a single department, it's for everybody. And obviously the mayor and elected officials have played quite a role in this too, and it takes a long time. I think sometimes we get impatient, but this deal's a little longer than some, but the truth is these things simply don't happen overnight. Let me go through a couple of these slides. This is the access today to the old Budweiser facility, which many of us old-timers recognize, and of course this is going to become BYD's energy facility. This street, if you approve the next item, will be named in their honor. This is the before shot. This is the after shot. Robert's people have already started acquiring right-of-way out there. We're going to completely repave. The signs are up. If you haven't been by the facility, you should, because it already has gone through a transformation. But again, here's an opportunity for real redevelopment in an area that J11 isn't anything to shout home about today, but it will be when Robert's guys are finished. Of course, we have the facility that that we talked about, and I'm delighted to see people there, and I know Bill and his family is happy too. I couldn't be more proud of the fact that BYD stepped up and hired Bill, because Bill's somebody who has a great experience in this business, and this has just been a win-win for everybody. Finally, as you probably read in the newspaper, the good news is long-term, BYD has expansion plans, so much to the point that the disposition and development agreement that we're asking you to approve tonight covers this future site expansion. And the paper was correct that this would be delivered free of charge if they meet certain hiring thresholds. And of course, we're excited about that because I think, as Mark indicated, this company really is a worldwide company that is second to none in new technologies. And there's already 700-800 of these buses running around in Sinjin, so it's not like this is their first barbecue. With that, I'd like to introduce Brendan Riley and Bill Rex, and they had a couple words they'd like to say, and then we're all around to answer any questions you might have. Thank you.
Mayor Paris and Deputy Mayor Zetto and Vice Mayor Chris.
Wait a minute, are you here to tell us you cut the deal with Google?
Not yet, okay. But I'm working on it. And honorable council members, I'd like to thank you all so much for all of your hard work, for all the hard work of your staff, Mark and Vern. And I'd also like to thank the good citizens of Lancaster for inviting BYD to be here as a member of this community. We are so excited about setting up our facility here for both the energy terminals, the energy terminals and the buses. We really appreciate this opportunity. This is really an amazing place to set up a business. You folks have dedicated ourselves now, to the alternative energy industry, and sustainable energy. And we feel that this is really a place for BYD to set up a home for many years to come. We're excited about all of the upcoming opportunities to actually have our buses running on the roads here in Lancaster, as well as Long Beach and Los Angeles, all in LA County, by the way. And you've really made us feel like family, all of you, and I'd like to thank you all.
Thank you for coming.
Britton, tell us about how you charge the buses. I just think that's the new way that you're going to by the conduction.
There's a new method for charging electric vehicles. It's called inductive charging. It's very similar to the way you charge your cell phone by setting it on a pad, where you don't need a metal-to-metal contact to conduct the electricity. The electricity is transformed into a magnetic wave. Harmless, by the way, sir. And the magnetic wave is then collected and then reconverted into electricity in the bus. So the bus could drive over a pad that transmits this wave, and the bus collects this electricity wirelessly just by driving over it. Normally has to remain there for a bit to bring a charge, but it doesn't require anyone getting out, plugging it in, and it's really a wave of the future for charging vehicles. And even vehicles in people's garages, electric cars and so on, are going to be charged this way. It's pretty much a given.
And you can charge these buses in a half an hour up to 80%?
Our new technology for charging, our new fast charge technology, will charge the buses from 0% charge or 0 SOC to 80% SOC in about half an hour.
And you've already done testing in the Antelope Valley on what we call Route 4?
Yes, we took a bus that we had actually set up for Stanford. Actually, it was one of Stanford's buses that we were delivering to Stanford, and I filled it with sandbags to simulate passenger loading on a pretty warm day, and we took a couple AVTA employees, a driver and one of their staff, and we drove Route 4 about 4 times to get the data to make sure our bus could do it fully loaded, simulating real-world conditions. And we were able to do over 200 miles on that route.
It's wonderful. And you had the AC on, too.
Everything on. Lights, AC, everything.
Wonderful.
Now, isn't that the difference between this electric bus and everything else, all the other electric buses, is actually your range?
Yeah, there's 2 theories of transportation. One is to pick up transportation, 2 theories of electrified transportation. One is to pick up energy as you go, and the other one is kind of to bring the energy with you. We are right now in the latter camp. We bring the energy with us. So we charge up at night if we can. This ability now to charge up during the day will allow us to reduce the size of our battery packs, this quick charge technology and this inductive technology, and will allow us to drive further without all the batteries. So it'll allow us to reduce the weight and take some of the load off of the streets and things of that nature. Right now, our electric bus weighs about the same as a diesel bus, and we're all trying to lower the vehicle weights so that the roads are not impacted so much. The buses really do impact the roads.
One last thing. Talk about how this is one of the first industries to come from China into the United States.
Yes, so much like Japan did in the 80s, the Chinese don't have any really heavy manufacturing in the U.S., very little outside of China in general. Most companies and countries outsource their labor to China. So they supply the engineering and the technical know-how, and China does the building for them. In this case, it's almost the opposite. The Chinese have developed a lot of these technologies, especially battery and electric motor technologies, very strong in China. They have a very excellent, really tradition of doing these things. And setting up a facility here, and we could have picked any place in the country, really. I mean, everybody was, not everybody, but there were a lot of places that were really interested in having us set up our facility, even some Southern California cities. And we picked Lancaster because of, not only because of the wonderful staff you have here, and of course the amazing council, but we picked Lancaster because it's really a city that has a vision for new energy and sustainable energy, and it's really a perfect home. And the chairman of our company, when Stella Lee, who's the president of BYD here, the chairman of our company back in Lancaster, back in China, when we told him we wanted to set up business in Lancaster, he was incredibly pleased. He thought that that was the right way to go. And this is the first Chinese heavy manufacturer that set up a facility here in the U.S. And it's here in Lancaster.
You know, I wish everybody could go and see what BYD is in Shenzhen, and you'd get some clue of what's coming. I mean, it's not a couple. How many acres are over there?
You mean the current plant?
Yeah,
about 30-some total.
It's like a city, and everybody in that city works for BYD. I mean, thousands of employees. 10 years from now, you're going to see BYD signs everywhere. And I absolutely believe that it's going to be very similar. We are going to solve this unemployment problem, and BYD is going to pave the way to do that. And I'm so grateful that you came, because I've seen what's coming, and it is truly magnificent.
And Mark here and a lot of the other people that spoke were referring to the energy storage aspect of our batteries. The buses that use these batteries, the batteries will last longer than the buses. The batteries have been designed to be removed from the buses when the bus has finished its useful purpose, its life as a bus. The batteries will be removed and then used for energy storage, and it dovetails perfectly into the plan for Lancaster and using sustainable energy. You need a way to store that energy some way.
We will be off the grid before too much longer. And think about that. We are hostages to that grid in so many ways. This is fabulous. I'm really excited. Thank you.
Thank you.
And and it's no accident that Bill Rex was instrumental in this. Do you know, here in Lancaster, we have built the world's fastest motorhome. Do you know how hard it is to build a fast motorhome?
That the mayor tried to buy.
Our mayor tried to buy it, yes.
Well, I thought we were still negotiating.
We are, but not here. Okay. And Brendan, I was told you guys came to Lancaster because of me, but... Anyway, I would just like to thank everybody. Actually, this is great for our company because it does give us a chance to kind of start over again in our smaller facility. Puts all of the employees that, I'd kind of promised jobs for years that we would keep going back to work. And for me, that's number one, putting these people back to work. So I'd like to thank Lancaster, the council, the mayor, everybody here, and especially the taxpayers. So thank you all, and God bless. Thank you, Bill.
We're going to China in a few months. We ought to figure out a way to take more people with us. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Because I think you really have to see it to understand what is going to happen. Good. Thank you. We got some speaker cards. Scott Pelka.
Very interesting reading the proposal from the city of Lancaster, not only for giving a $58,000 redevelopment debt to Rexall for the building, also giving them $1.4 million to purchase a piece of property. next to the building. Now, in looking over tax defaulted property sale, 2013A, there are two pieces of property that came up that were rather interesting. One is the vacant land that you're going to buy for the $1.4 million to give to them. There's $40,372 in back taxes owed on that property. Also on the Rexall building itself, there's $185 owed in back taxes. Is the city of Lancaster planning on letting that tax debt go? As the city, are the people going to be absorbing this now defunct tax debt on top of the $1.4 million and the $58,000 that is coming up here? I mean, that seems like a lot of money for the citizens of Lancaster to have to shell out in debt, over $2 million here, just to have 250 possible employees here. And if you look at how much money the 250 employees will be paid, the city of Lancaster would not ever recover the money paid out to those employees in the way of resources, buying goods and services for over 200 years. So I'm failing to figure out what the financial advantage is of giving $200 million or $2 million away to BYD or anybody else for that matter. That's all I have to say.
Mr. Exton? Bill, did you want to answer that?
Thank you again. First of all, there are no taxes owed. They've all been paid. Unfortunately, our county assessor has been telling us for months now that it takes literally months and months to actually go through the process to show it cleared and off the books. But it's been paid, and there are no debt. And not to mention, Rexall has paid millions of dollars in taxes, put over 500 people to work for over 14 years, and I believe was a real asset to the community. Unfortunately, every single motorhome manufacturer west of the Mississippi went bankrupt and was liquidated, including Fleetwood, $4 billion in sales, Monaco, $2 billion in sales. So it just gives you an idea. Rexall is the only surviving RV company that builds motorized west of the Mississippi. So I appreciate what you said, but actually it insults me a little bit with all we feel we've done for this community. So with that, thank you.
I have one more question.
Wait. You really should give the assessor a break. He's in custody.
He's got a lot to do.
What's your most expensive motorhome?
Well, it was about $250,000.
Okay. That's all you need to know. Mark, what do we make on $250,000 as far as sales tax?
1%.
And the buses sell for $1 million?
The BYD buses are about about 900,000 to $1 million.
Okay, thank you.
And we built approximately 18,000. Thank you.
This is a fantastic deal for the citizens of the Antelope Valley, the entire Antelope Valley.
Yeah, it really is. Thank you. Okay, Michael Reeves. Now you're for this, right, Mike?
Mayor Paris, council, staff, ladies and gentlemen.
Mike, I got one more VIP pass to give away.
You can do it, Mike.
I love it. I was reading the attachment on the agenda for this item. And on the attachment for the agenda, it says, assuming BYD meets the performance objectives outlined in the agreement, the city will purchase the parcel at a cost of $1.4 million and will provide this land to BYD in return for jobs created. So we're not even sure if this is going to work. I mean, I understood that there was a limit on the amount of time that the buses could run, and they would run out of electricity before conclusion of the route. And now I understand they're coming up with this thing that will charge it up, but how many cities are going to be able to afford this thing, to charge it up as it drives. And another thing, we're getting back to magnetic and electric field stuff. They mentioned the magnetic stuff. So we're going to have solar panels with lines going all over the city, and we're going to have buses, electric buses, that are generating magnetic stuff from the bottom. It's something to consider, the health thing on this. I'm not happy as a citizen that we're forgiven the $58,000 debt. I'm sorry that the employees lost their jobs and so forth, but I'm not happy about us forgiving debts. We have gotten into trouble before in our dealings with the dealerships on the auto mall, and we're still trying to resolve that, I understand, with Palmdale. So I don't know these certain deals. Another thing I'd like to point out, I don't know why we didn't approach General Motors or some American company, and I'm not racist, Mayor Paris, I'm not racist. I have nothing against Chinese people. I'm just wondering why we didn't get GM or Ford or one of these auto companies that need jobs for American people. Why didn't we ask them to come to Lancaster and build electric buses? Thank you.
Michael, what makes you think we didn't?
Pardon me?
What makes you think we didn't?
Well, I have no idea. I hope you did. You know, it hasn't been publicized that you did it. All it was publicized that the mayor and supervisor and people went over to China. There was no nothing in the media about approaching American companies. You know, so that's my thing on that. And while I'm up here for a second, you know, we got to do something about these retail stores. We're focusing on solar plants, and we're focusing on this bus company and all this, but we're losing our retail stores. Now we're going to lose Kmart. We got to do something about this retail stuff, or we're not going to have any place to shop in the town. Everybody's going to have to go to Palmdale, and that's where the tax revenue is going to go.
Michael, Ron brought you a Walmart. Now, what more do you want?
Well, we don't want the Walmart over there by the high school. You can put it down the street by the prison.
You see, we just can't win. Thank you. Okay, is there a motion?
I move we give Michael the VIP pass.
Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No.
No. Kitty, you can break the tie.
You can make him a tin hat.
It's your only opportunity to vote. You going to take it?
Let's give him the pass.
Yay.
Go get your pass. You're welcome. No, thank Kitty.
I'll move JNB1.
I second.
Let's vote. Take a picture. We changed the world today. This is going to be so huge. Okay. NB1? Michael?
Bring the pass back. I don't know that I'm sorry.
I don't think we need it. Did you want to talk about this?
I just wanted to say, I brought this up before. If you've changed the name of the street, be sure you put the number, the lettered street on the sign, so people won't get confused. You know, like it's on M and Challenger and all that. They put the new name plus the old name on there, so people don't get lost.
I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, is there a motion?
I'll move we adopt resolution number 13-54.
Is there a second?
I second.
Let's vote. It's unanimous. Okay, NB2, Brian Ludicky.
We don't have any speaker cards.
Waive the reading.
Yes.
Is there a motion?
I motion that we adopt resolution number 13-55.
Is there a second?
Second.
Let's vote. That's not battery operated, is it?
No, it has an energy terminal.
Energy terminal, yeah.
Thank you. You know, I just for everybody's edification, the reason those energy terminals are so critically important is the pollution and the cost of maintaining that grid. It's primarily because it moves up and down constantly. You know, you got to power them up, and you got to power them down, power them up, power them down. The maintenance costs are huge. The pollution from that is huge. If we could have energy terminals that would store that energy, we could stabilize that grid. And the power costs for the entire state would drop dramatically. And the fact that the first ones are going to be built here, and we're talking about boxcar size energy terminals. I mean, it's not your ever-ready battery that lasts forever. It's really is a world-changing, game-changing thing we're doing here. I can't wait till it starts. Okay, NB3, Kelvin. Oh, no, Kelvin's not going to do it.
Hi.
Hi.
Mayor Paris, members of the City Council, thank you for the opportunity to speak to you tonight. The Spice Up Lancaster Loan Program was approved in November of 2012 in an effort to assist small businesses, build our sales tax revenue base, and fill existing commercial vacancies. In order to be eligible for the program, you have to have been operating for 10 or more years in the Antelope Valley as a restaurant. You have to be locally owned and have fewer than 5 existing locations. The loan program offers up to $25,000 in low-interest loan funding to people who meet these criteria and successfully complete the application process. So we have Maribel's Bakery here tonight, and they're an ideal candidate for this program. They've been operating in the Antelope Valley at their location on 20th Street West for approximately 20 years. They're family-owned, and they're looking to expand to a second location at 706 West Lancaster Boulevard, right here next to Beck's. The loan funding will be utilized for a patio dining area, signage, kitchen equipment, and other items. And here to tell you more about Maribel's itself is the owner, Nick Parada.
Good evening, Mayor Paris and Council. I just wanted to mention that Maribel's Bakery has been there since 1993. My mother, who is with me tonight, opened it after working 18 years for the McDonald's Corporation. And a brief overview throughout the years is some of the items we serve are tamales, Mexican and Central American, pupusas, which is a traditional Salvadorian dish. It's basically a fresh corn tortilla filled with meat, cheese, or vegetables. And then we also serve all the bakery items, which include cakes and also pan dulce, which is Mexican sweetbread. So we've been in the same location about 20 years now. And like Shannon had mentioned, we're planning on, we're going to open where the formerly Raised Cupcakes used to be, right next to Beck's. And we're planning on doing an outside patio seating area for our restaurant side of it, and also upgrading some kitchen equipment and some signage as well.
Good. Look forward to it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions?
Move to approve.
No. Michael.
Thank you.
How could you be against that?
Well, I have no objection with helping a business. You know, I just said we need to help the businesses in town. What distresses me, okay, we're going to loan money and help him get established, but if it doesn't work out, then the landlord gets all this equipment and everything free from us, the city, because we've loaned him the money building. Is there anything in the agreement that in the event something happens that those things come back to the city, or what happens?
It would actually depend on whether or not they're fixtures. If they're fixtures, you're right, they go with the building. If they're not fixtures, then there's no reason they couldn't be liquidated.
That's my only concern about it, Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion?
Move to approve NB3.
Second. Let's vote. It's unanimous. Oh, I was wondering why Brian was here.
Mr. Mayor, I'm going to recuse myself from this.
Why would you do that? Well, I'm a little worried about this. This is Ryan's father, and he's refusing to vote. I think that might say something, Ryan.
I don't think I'm refusing to vote.
I'm nominating Ryan Crisp for the Planning Commission, and Ryan is young, which is one of the reasons I'm appointing him, but two, he's also leading the effort to help with the homeless problem in Lancaster, and all of the reports I'm getting back are he's doing a magnificent job with that. And what I'm attempting to do with the commissions is get as broad a spectrum of people on them as I can get, and he furthers that goal. And so I would ask that you appoint him. Well, I'm nominating him. So I guess I need a motion. Is there a motion?
Is that your motion? I'll second it.
Okay. Your motion?
I probably third, if I
No,
could.
you have to do the motion. I do the nomination.
Okay.
Sandra does the motion. Ron does the
I'd be
second.
honored to motion that Ryan Crisp be appointed to the Lancaster Planning Commission.
Do I have any speaker cards on this? Michael? None? Okay. Then let's vote. Welcome our new planning commissioner. And he brought his mom, too. You guys did a good job.
Thank you. Are you going to swear in?
Oh, we got to swear him in.
Would you like to, yes, would you like to swear him in today?
No, let's have Jerry do it. Okay? Go. Actually, let's have his father do it. That's a great idea. Go swear your son in.
Brian's already lobbying him, look at that.
And Ryan, have the decency to bring your mother up. You got to get in the picture. Let somebody else take the picture.
Okay, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Ryan Crisp, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
Will support, defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
and I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
and to the Constitution of the State of California.
and to the Constitution of the State of California.
And I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
And I will, what was that?
And that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
the duties upon which I am going to enter.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Very proud mom.
Good job.
I love that. Bless you.
Now, Ryan's not going to be there long because he's going to law school next year. But until then, we'll get everything we can out of him. Okay, Vice Mayor Crisp, you got a report on the AV Transit Authority?
I think everything is going good. We had a discussion today about the electric buses. It looks like the AVTA is heading in the direction to have at least half of its fleet electric buses. We're going to look at buying 2 of them to run and make sure that everything works good with them.
prior to us doing that, but everything's good at the AVTA
As planned. Absolutely.
as planned. Great, that's good.
Great, good. The one last plug for solar, I want everybody to know that my wife told me our electric bill in February was $1.68 after we put the solar panels up. So if you guys aren't putting solar panels up, you're missing a sure thing.
Wait, one last plug for solar. I learned today that Hunter Dodge, that went solar maybe 10 years ago, it's completely paid for, and they're net zero.
Really? That is huge. Okay, so everybody go buy a Dodge. Lancaster Financing, Lancaster Financing Authority, no action. Lancaster Power Authority, no action. The city manager, any announcements?
Yeah, I have a couple of announcements, and then we have a couple short videos for you on a couple things. One, another plug for solar. If anyone doesn't think we get national attention, our mayor and 7 other mayors were in Esquire magazine. They highlight 8 mayors, and we were highlighted because of the requirement for new homes to be powered by solar panels. So it gives us national acclaim.
What was this quote?
Oh, you're so cute.
I may be a Republican, but I'm not an idiot. Thank you, Vice Mayor Chris.
That was in response to a question about whether or not I thought climate change was caused by industrial pollution. And then I said yes, and then they told me that there were certain people in my party who did not agree with me. There was an explanation to that.
Yes, there was. And also I'd put a plug in for Sierra Toyota, who also has gone solar as well, too. It didn't get much notice today, but I'd invite the public. They're going to be getting a report on the sanitary sewer collection system, not a very exciting thing on its own, but when you look at the wonderful job that the City of Lancaster, particularly our Public Works Department, has done, reducing by about 90% spills, keeping rates lower than they would have been with the County of Los Angeles, and just doing an amazing job. That report will be going out to everyone. So it's a really nice thing. We'll be putting a press release out on that as well, too. We had a press conference or a ribbon cutting at Olive's Restaurant on the Boulevard. The food there is absolutely fantastic. I'd invite everyone to see it. It's the best cabbage doma I've ever eaten, and I've been eating cabbage doma for 55 years.
What is that?
It's either lamb or beef wrapped in cabbage with in olive oil and garlic. It's absolutely, and Vice Mayor can attest, he had 3 plates of food, so he tried everything there.
Excuse me?
Did I say Vice Mayor?
Again?
I meant Vice Mayor Christ was there as well.
Well, he obviously had more than 3.
Took me off the hook. Thank you, sir.
You want to go there?
Moving right along, we do have the Streets of Lancaster this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's really an amazing event. It's more than just go-kart races. Please come out, bring your family. There's music, there's entertainment, there's stuff to buy, there's a full slate of restaurants on the boulevard. Any kind of food that you want is there. It's really an amazing time. So we invite everyone to come by, and it's free. Again, it's free, so please come out. We have 2 short videos we'd like to show. One is on Celebrate America, and then after that, Kelvin will give a brief report on the Unite program from last Saturday. So we'll start with Celebrate America.
Okay, who did that? That is great graphics. I love
great event, good crowd. Thank council for attending, and it was really a lot of fun. Before I do ask Kelvin to talk about Unite, I'm remiss. I will turn it over to Allison to introduce someone to you.
I am very pleased to introduce to the council the new Assistant City Attorney who's sitting behind me. Jocelyn Corbett has joined us as of today and will be on site daily to provide legal counsel to staff and city officials as needed.
I thought she looked like a lawyer. I thought maybe somebody was scouting us out for our next lawsuit.
Okay. And then Kelvin will talk about the Unite event this Saturday, or last Saturday.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, Deputy Mayor, just wanted to report last Saturday we had our Unite Lancaster program where we had 7 projects that went throughout the city. There was a focus in the Mariposa and Desert View area. And it was really an amazing day for these 7 projects, bringing together partners of our nonprofit community-based organizations that would help provide services into these neighborhoods as well as provide some volunteer opportunities for our residents. Just a couple of highlight projects that we thought did very well were in its second year was the AV Chess House, which grew to, I think we had about 44 elementary school kids in the Mariposa and Desert View area learn how to play chess in a 4-hour period. And the parents who you would think would drop off their kids in here actually stayed. There were 16 parents who actually volunteered for this chess program. The instructor asked them to get involved, and they did, and they also learned how to play chess. So it helps bring the residents or the parents and the kids together. It's a great learning experience. Some other projects that occurred, there was a job skills program where over 100 participants actually came dressed up to learn the basic skills on how to conduct an interview, how to prepare a resume, things to know about when you go into an interview. So that really helped out in our community. And we also had a young youth group who did a health program in terms of how to really address obesity in our neighborhoods by promoting health, fitness, learning about nutrition, and learning how to cook food, actually more healthier food. So those were some of the projects that occurred this past weekend. I do want to thank our sponsors, because without them, we wouldn't be able to pay for a lot of the costs that were involved. It's some of the resources we provide. Folks like Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, Target, Signs and Designs, Lee's Bees. Those folks are really instrumental. And also the Lancaster Neighborhood Revitalization Commission, who really helps put this program together, along with our project coordinators from the Safe and Stronger Neighborhoods Committee. So it's definitely a collaboration and partnership. And we have a short video here just to show you what took place over the weekend.
Hey, where's the sound?
So we definitely want to thank the City Council for giving the opportunity to get out there in the community and empower them to put these programs together. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, is that it? Thank you. City Clerk.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the time for you to address the City Council on any items that are not on the agenda. You'll find speaker cards at the back of the council chambers. We ask that you fill them out completely and print as clearly as possible so that if the City Council, City Manager, and City staff need to get in touch with you, they will have your information. As much as we appreciate your request to make comments before your 3 minutes begin, please understand your time begins when your name is announced. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. When you approach the podium, you'll see 3 lights. The green light comes on when your time begins, the yellow light comes on when you have 30 seconds remaining, and the red light comes on when your time is up. We ask that you be considerate of the allotted time to allow other speakers to have their 3 minutes as well. Following this procedure will allow for a smooth and timely process for the meeting. State law prohibits the City Council from taking action on items not on the agenda, and your matter will be referred to the City Manager. Thank you.
Thank you. Michael Reeves, you wanted to do something on the AVTA report, and we skipped over you.
I wanted to ask Vice Mayor Chris if the AVTA is going to be raising bus fares, if he knew anything about that. It was discussed on the internet, if any increase in bus fares for the city.
If the city of Lancaster has anything to do with it, because we have other partners, but our vote will be no.
Okay.
Absolutely no.
And while I'm up here, I want to commend the city for the Celebrate America. I thought that was the best thing I've ever seen down on the boulevard. It was well organized, and I've never seen so many people having a good time on any event the city has had. It was really tremendous. And also, I'd like to commend the recycling program for the city. I don't see televisions and stuff like that on the road anymore, so it's a very effective program. The city should be proud. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Gary Burgess. Gary, I've missed you. Where have you been?
We've been going to...
You guys run the city.
What? Good evening, Mayor Paris, council members. Tonight's subject is Boeing Plaza. 10 months ago, November of last year, I turned in a request to have the graffiti cleaned from the commemorative plaque located beneath the F4 at Boeing Plaza. The young man at the Parks Department assured me this would be accomplished. It has not been cleaned and restored as of this evening. Boeing Plaza has become a gathering point for a number of people, and through constant use has become an eyesore for the city. It's my personal opinion, of course. When I have out-of-town visitors, I'm ashamed to take them to that part of the boulevard to show off an airplane that I spent 8 years working on. This aircraft on the pedestal helps represent our freedom and brings back the memories of those who flew in combat during the controversial time known as Vietnam. Our veterans who served, especially those who gave up their life, deserve much better to be remembered by. The general condition of Boeing Plaza is deplorable, and it makes me wonder if Boeing Aircraft Company is aware that their name is being defaced and being displayed in such an unkept area. It seems to me that the city isn't interested after doing nothing to clean up the area for the noted previous 10 months, so I'm going to offer my services. I challenge you, Mayor Paris, and council members to meet me at Boeing Plaza at 10 a.m. tomorrow, and together let's clean up the area and restore the commemorative plaque. I will furnish the necessary items to clean and restore the plaque. Thank you very much. And I have
Gary, I'm in court tomorrow. I mean, couldn't you give some advance notice on this?
You got how many hours? Each one of you got a copy of the plaque. Here's some candid shots of the plaque that you can share.
I'm wondering, should we put a veterans, could you put together a veterans group that would adopt the plaza?
I don't know.
If you want to do something like that, I think I could find the funding to take care of that.
Yeah, that's a mess over there. I ride my bike. I ride 90% of the days of the year, and usually 50% of the time I go by there using the bike trail. So I've let this go, and every day I look at it, I get more aggravated, so I sat down this evening and decided to do something here that one more thing I'd like to say off the cuff is I'd like to apologize to Rhonda because it falls into her department, I think, the parks area, and I didn't give you a heads up on it. I didn't come to you, and I think, and I know that if I went to her personally, it would have been taken care of, and I wouldn't be standing here in front of you, but I just decided to just dump it out there and let it go. So,
Well, that's between you and Rhonda. But if I was Rhonda...
I don't want to stab anybody in the back, and I felt like that with this I wrote that was doing that, as I sat here planning how nervous I was going to be. But I want to mention one
Gary, I
thing.
agree with you. That is certainly something that we shouldn't allow to go one day.
Well,
so let's figure out how we can do it as a community. You know, I mean, I know that we have overtaxed staff to the extreme. And that's not an excuse, but I'm thinking a lot of this stuff we should be picking up as a community. And certainly when it comes to memorials for our veterans, that's something we should do just as a community. So let's figure out a way to do that, okay?
So do I have permission to clean the plaque tomorrow?
Not only that, I mean, let's get a group together to take over the whole plaza.
Sounds good.
Absolutely. All right.
I was told one time that I couldn't work on city property.
Yeah, well, that was under the old city.
But anyhow, I'd like to see
This is the new
plaque
volunteer
cleaned off
city.
the-
I mean, we just get it done. I'm sorry, what?
I'd like to see that plaque get cleaned up, and I'm willing to do it, and the rest of it, we can talk about that. And yes, I'd like to see somebody get a group together, and...
Yeah, let me worry about the lawsuits, okay? Well, me and Allison.
Okay. Thank you all very much.
Walk across the street and do it.
Well, let's have Gary put that together. Okay. Good. All right, great. Arson, is it Arson? Manson? Okay. Good evening.
I want to talk about medical marijuana business. I know it is a difficult topic, but today there are black market in Lancaster. Summary.
Pull the mic down. If you pull the mic down, we could hear you better. No, it might just be me because I'm deaf, but...
Summary HR 499, 113th Congress 2013-2014, ending Federal Marijuana Prohibition Act of 2013. Direct the Attorney General to use a final order that removes marijuana is any form from or schedules of controlled substances under the Controlled Substance Act. Sorry. I am one of the people who work legally and have a problem with sheriff for more than 6 months. I am involved in court case in relation to that. Almost every street there are illegal sales marijuana. Criminals are making big money. It becomes bigger and bigger every day. Why not legalize marijuana business in Lancaster? So 500 square feet front store marijuana business give you $100,000 a month. $1 million a year. It's a 500 square feet place only. Only buy sell, no grow. 10,000 tax dollar a monthly, 500 square feet place. More than 20,000 people in Lancaster, this is fact, smoking marijuana. Yeah. What is we're doing? We're better pushing this under legal control. If possible, let's organize legal marijuana business and have their tax money. In 1 year, it's give you more than 1,000 working place for marijuana business and less crime and more taxes. I involve everyone, city, police and court, business and public work together on this important use. Thank you very much.
Thank you. V. Friss.
evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I too would like to talk about downtown Lancaster. We're now being viewed by the world, and I'm ashamed of Lancaster and the toilets at the Metrolink station. My father worked for the railroad. I rode on the first Metrolink station train that went out of this station when it first opened. I'm partial to trains, and I think this is the first thing tourists see when they come to Lancaster. They open the toilet door of the Metrolink station. A week ago, it was filled with black mold on the floor. Black mold was going up the walls. That could be ash from the last fire we had. This room had not been cleaned in months. I had to call twice to the mayor's office to get help. Mr. Waltham is working on it. The doors are still smudged and dirty. I don't see how a city could be so hypocritical. We're working on health and clean air, and look at our toilet at Metrolink station. People cut off that train and use the facilities, and it's atrocious. So thank you. I'll be checking it out each week.
I think we will, too.
Thank you.
Isn't that a county?
No, that we have the responsibility for maintaining it, and if it's in that condition, I've been by there in a couple of weeks, we will fix it tomorrow.
All right. Fair enough. Okay, we're going to pass on closed session, is that right?
Correct.
Good. So, let's adjourn. Kitty?
The Housing Authority meeting is adjourned until Tuesday, October 8th, 2013 at 5 p.m.
The City Council meeting is adjourned until Tuesday, October 8th, 2013 at 5 p.m. And Carol, warm up the dinner. I'm coming home.